All right, so today we're going to talk about Sharon Inferno. Now, had I looked at what the mechanics are in Inferno, probably when I just started the game, I'd build a couple of SRs to help with that. So there are about two ways you can defeat Sharon reliably, and one way that, depending on your gear, might not work, but is probably the fastest, where you just like burst her down really fast. Basically, how the Sharon boss fight works at Inferno is she's immune to all debuffs, so you can only do like damage to her. And then these two side dudes, they are immune to being like taking HP damage, but they can accept majority of debuffs in the game, if not all of them. So what happens is every turn these flowers act, they put debuffs on your allies, and then once those debuffs proc, they make these flowers stronger. They bloom, and they eventually going to turn into these like little flower people that kind of look like, I don't know, Floramon from Digimon or something. So, how do you beat her? Well, there's three ways. The first way is controlling these two dudes. Once you control these flowers, like you keep them stunned and locked down, you only have Sharon to deal with. And if your DPS is strong enough, you can kill them fairly easily, or kill her fairly easily. That's the method I think it's most unreliable, because that depends on how strong your DPS is. That takes a lot of gear. Probably the new unit Lilium is probably needed because she does a really good bit of single target DPS. There's a lot of factors there, and I don't like that one. But that just know that is one way of doing it. The other way, which I think is the most reliable way, is to use this specific SR. Her name is Dorothy. Once I find her, I don't have her built because I lack lattices, but you can use her if I can find her really quick. No, not this one. It's this one. So her S3 here, while it does even do life leech, which is going to be really good here, it's the fact that the level 3 version purifies one debuff. You want this maxed out for max clear. Like if your DPS is really strong, you don't need this maxed out. You can stop here and you can probably kill her, or like kill Sharon. But I'd rather just you max this out so that this is only in 4 turns, and you can just keep beating up the opponent and purifying at least 2 debuffs per use of this skill. And the life leech is going to help. Like if your units are getting damaged a lot, the life leech does help quite a bit. If you want, you can even max this out as well. That's going to help your DPS completely destroy this. The next, so that's kind of like how it is. And characters that are good here are like Dorothy. Even she can heal a little bit, so she's pretty good. The reason why you can't use Linglo though, because Linglo is the oddity element, or water as we like to call it. So she's gonna get killed here very easily. And even so, she's not as reliable as Dorothy as Purifying, because it's only on her S3, and it's not even like, you see what it is? Like it's like based on like the whale pair, right? So it's not as reliable as Dorothy, which automatically just purifies 2 debuffs right out of the gate. Now let's talk about the way I defeat it. This is the other way, where like you kind of have like your defensive options just to keep your character alive, your DPS alive, and you just rush this boss down by buffing and utilizing Lily, who can like basically make your DPS act twice in a sense with their S3s a lot of times. So like those of you that rerolled for Lily, this is probably going to be the easiest way to defeat her. In terms of mechanics, she's very simple. It's just that she requires rolls that are hard to just build right out of nowhere. Like you'd have to already know how this fight works and then pre-build her. But with those characters I mentioned, it's going to be very easy. So we're gonna roll through here, and you're gonna see how it's easy. Now, if you don't have Yelly, I would use Didding instead. Didding is probably the easiest single target DPS to build in the game. You don't need, and like hopefully you have him after you pulled a lot in this game. Even like just one copy of him is enough to beat this fairly easy. I don't have gear on him. Like him and Yelly have different types of gears and echoes, or not echoes, shells. So yeah, I can't use him here. Like he sometimes clears, he sometimes doesn't. Like when the target goes on her, like when his Didding target goes on her, then he clears. But a lot of times it might go to these flowers randomly and he loses that damage and I don't have it. So just using Yelly is a lot easier. So yeah, let's take a look at how it goes. It's make sure on continuous battle you just have her selected and then these two right after, because you don't want to hit these flowers because you're not going to kill them. We're going to put out 2 times speed just to show you. So, and you can see, I'll show you stats after this run to show you how it goes, or like, you know, what to look out for, like when building. But the faster units are, the better. That way you could act more times before the flowers start debuffing you. So Sharon will go. She puts a debuff and, you know, it does hurt your team quite a bit. But you can just see the damage Yellie's doing. It's not even that impressive. And Sharon doesn't have that much HP. Like, watch. Oh, it was too hard to see. See, that's only 11,000, and it's chipping quite a bit of her HP. Now, obviously, once I have Dorothy built, I can move away from Lily. And I can try other strategies to clear faster, but this to me has been the most reliable way. You see, look, they're blooming now. You see? They're blooming. And they're just going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on. And I'm just using these two. You don't need Fusho. I'm just using her like to provide more shields, just so survivability is a thing, right? Like, I'd rather, you know, people use Dorothy instead and have a more reliable player. Look at them. Look at them. They're in their final state now. Now in this state, I do think they can be killed, but at this point, they're just too strong. And there it is. All right, so let's take a look at the units themselves, right? To kind of give you the stats you want. Basically, your DPS must be maxed out on whatever gives them damage, right? So Mayeli's case, her S2, S3, and S1 up till the damage multiplier. That way she does a lot of damage. But using Didding, make sure that his skills are all maxed out. As for modules, whatever you have that can deal more damage. Right now I'm using Onslaught to test it out because I cannot put debuffs. So I'm using Onslaught Kenai, and that seems to be doing the job. I can test with other things. I want Fury Edge and stuff, but I only now started farming Terraton Inferno. So there's that. As for the supports, you just want them to be as fast as possible, right? Like 250, 260, 270 speed, as much speed as possible, so they can keep buffing your units. For this case, I'm using Lily, but like I said, you do not need Lily. You can just use Dorothy and other healers to keep your DPS alive. I am just going off the fact that I don't have Dorothy because of Lattice's issues, and we're just going to speedrun it, and I had my Lily built already. Just to give you an idea, my Lilies S1 and S2 are maxed out. I think if you're any sort of Lily player, you do need these two skills maxed out. You can ignore skill 3 unless you have a, you know, bunch of lattices you're just not using. You know, same thing, right? Swift Rush is going to be really important. I do have a theory where if you build all your units like really, really fast, you might get away with like not even using Dorothy, probably, but like I'd rather not risk it. That just sounds like it's unreliable at clearing. As for our other dudes, I mean, just to give you just Time Weave, you know, Swift Rush. I have it on Codex and Magic, so I keep spamming. I spam her ultimate twice to give a bigger shield to buffer the DOT damage. Or like reapply what's gone already. That's all there is. There's no investment into her. Because I just don't have enough lattices to invest into characters right now. So I'm just throwing together some makeshift meat shields in the meantime. As for the other character we had, Valerian, I just have her in whatever I can. Wellspring, you know, just so she's really slow and she can keep her her defense up and buffing going on so that Yelly keeps getting the attack buff and whatever buffs that Valerian provides. Just her S3 needs to be maxed out. You can ignore the S1 and S2. Well, okay, she probably shouldn't be on Black Flag. I just had her on Black Flag because I forgot to swap it out. Normally, what I have on her is like this. So if she ever gets knocked out of her S3 state, she can start applying defense to help the allies survive. You can even have her on something like Alicorn and stuff like that. And it's very interesting, right? Like, this game is... I will say that this game is really funny. If you really want it and you farm a bunch of Alicorns, you can just have Alicorns on your characters and, like, have him purify debuffs. You know, there are different ways of approaching it, but, like, you know, you don't want to spread your resources too thin, especially, you know, because the lack of resources in the game to level up and max out your characters. But yeah, that's only 4 people. Unlike Threshold that you can use 5, these shell farming sections are just 4 people. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This might help you get through Sharon and kind of understand if you haven't beaten her yet. I'm the Gotchian Cultivator, and catch you guys on the next video.